with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to the Family Dynamics podcast. We once again are in our home studio, and I am sitting next to my beautiful wife, Alicia Meeks.
Hey,
How was your day today?
it was what it was. I think I'm just drained from the whole weekend. I stay up late and then wake up late and half the day gone. It's just crazy. I can't even go to sleep at night. So it just is what it is.
Yeah, my wife is like the one of them. what do they call it? Like nocturnal?
Yeah,
Like
that's
nocturnal.
the way it seems these days.
She be up at night.
Man, he be asleep.
I do. I'm not gonna even play with it. I'm gonna go ahead and give me sleep because I know what I do. I got to be well rested, and I got to do all of this driving.
Yeah, you need to get your rest.
And one day I'm not gonna be driving no more. That's my goal.
That's the goal.
Is not to be driving nobody's truck. Shout out to all of the truck drivers out there. But
y'all are essential, and we thank you.
Definitely essential, but definitely is not something I want to be doing for the rest of my life. Is bouncing around on no truck. It's got to be an exit strategy with this. It got to be exit.
It does.
It do. This year has gotten off to a start, and it seemed like to me like it's like I don't know about how you feel. Like this year has kind of been, we in our 9th day of this year, and now it's not like, like in the past, like you would have these big emotions about the new year. Like I'm hopeful about the new year, but now it's kind of like dreary on this side. It's blah. It's blah. It don't feel like nothingness. Like, but maybe that's what it is, to quiet the noise around you, just to get going with some of the things you want to do. Before we got on, and I was showing my wife some of the stuff that I was trying to do or I was doing, and trying to learn. And that was a thing that when I was looking at worship in church today, and it was like, man, you should be learning something new. Like it should be something on your agenda to be learning something new, like all the time or in this year. And it's a challenge because you want to just say, okay, well, I'm going to give this task to somebody to do. But then it's kind of like, well, why don't I know it and I need to get it done? Like, it's kind of like we in this era, and even with marriages, like we in this era where we want to pass on responsibility to like a counselor, or we want to pass responsibility off to another entity instead of dealing with the issue ourselves.
Well, I don't think you can pass on to a counselor. What do you mean?
I mean, some people feel like I think counseling is good, but then it has to be a point where you don't crutch on the counselor. And that's why I was going with it when it comes to the program that I was trying to learn. And I'm like, man, I could just pass this on. But Kevin, there's going to be times when you need to know this, because the person that you need to contact to get X, Y, and Z done might not be available, and you need to get this done quick. And it kind of like in marriage, like there are times when there may be an issue on the table, or maybe a anger, upsetting, or just the issue that needs to happen now. You ain't got time to say, I'm finna call my counselor now. You need to get on this schedule.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to handle that. And so that's where we're at now. And speaking of counselors, like the counselors that we have now, or have now, like he give us so many techniques now, and it's refreshing and it's humbling, because it's like it's a different way of communicating. And when I say that is, when you're in a high intense of emotion, you don't think to say, well, I'm going to take me a break, because we're not, like, you're in it and you want to just get the problem resolved. Just like I was saying with the program, or I want to say with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you can't wait till you get an appointment with someone to handle this. When you're in a heated debate, or you're in a high emotion, now you have to say, okay, well, we're not getting nowhere in this conversation, so we're going to have to handle this at another time in this day, or another hour, or another minute. And that's just a smooth technique. Like that who teach you that? Who teaches people to say, like, are we teaching our children to say, when you are upset or when you're flustered or when you're in a space where you don't understand or you're being misunderstood, I need you to take a step back, take a breath. You don't teach that until it's perpetuated that I'm not being understood, or the person or the friend that I'm talking to is not understanding what I'm saying, or we're not getting anywhere with being together or being on one accord. No one teaches you that until it gets to that.
Yeah.
And I don't even think you would even learn it until
you need it.
You're like, oh, my friend, they don't care. They don't understand. My spouse, they don't understand. They don't care. Well, now you got to step back. Maybe it's your approach.
Yeah. Sometimes you do need to self-reflect. That's what it is. It's self-reflection. Step back, self-reflect, and make a decision on how you feel you should proceed. That'll be in the best interest of you and both parties, actually, because I'm sure you're not trying to just create chaos. But yeah, I get it.
So what do you think, like, because things aren't taught when it comes to handling high conflict emotions or times, like what do you think, like, should be the go-to?
What do you mean?
Like what should be the go-to? Like, our counselors say, come from a place of here instead of a place of here, right? But you can't teach, like, unless you in sessions, like, you won't really get it.
To teach someone how to de-escalate.
Right, to de-escalate not just the situation, but self.
Yeah.
Like in a moment where you are upset, you gotta consciously think that this is my spouse and I need to understand
and
that,
be intentional about your words and your actions.
but not just that. It's more so that, like, this person is upset or misunderstanding me because it's something rooted, versus that they really just don't want to understand. They really just don't want to get me. Because, some people be feeling like that. Like, you be feeling like you just don't want to understand. But the reason why someone else can be upset
can have nothing to do with
you. So what would you tell, like, how would you teach that to a new, or like a future spoiled wife, or a new couple?
Well, it's just basically trying to, explain and explore and explain, that sometimes you have to think beyond the action, beyond the conversation, and say, what's the deeper issue here? Like, what's going on? Because it's not this. Most of the time when someone is, getting very flustered or upset about something, a lot of the times it's not that particular thing. It could be, but a lot of times it stems from something else that hasn't been addressed. And that's why, like, when we first started dating and marriage, I hate sweeping stuff under the rug. It's just not in me. I don't like to do that. And I'm prepared to have any type of hard conversation with anybody at any time. Okay. I may need a moment to, okay, I'm going to talk to this person, but I don't have a problem doing that, because I'd rather not sweep something under the rug and discuss the issue rather than sweep it under the rug and then it fester and you are lashing out at somebody else about something that has nothing to do with them.
But I don't know. I think that you've always been open to conversation, but I don't know if you was always open to like, understand, like, emotion. Like, you're not a unicorn. Like, I don't think you.
What do you mean?
Like, I've noticed you would initiate conversation or have a initial want to resolve a situation, but not necessarily like not being defensive about whatever's being said.
I never just said
But
that.
I'm just
That's
saying.
not what I just said. I
But
never
I'm saying
said
being
like I
open.
like to do this and I'll never be flustered about it, or I never.
But I'm saying if you ready to have conversations, you got to be ready for this person may say something I don't like about myself.
And that's fine. I'm just saying that I was ready to have a conversation. I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
go anywhere beyond that.
But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna say that I'm ready to have a conversation, then you have to be ready for each and every part of it. Because I'm telling you, I wasn't ready to have a conversation because I was avoiding conversation because I don't want to hear what you have to say about me negatively, which in turn helps me. Because if I don't want to hear it, then the problem never gets solved.
But why do you always think that it's something gonna be negative?
Something it 9 times out of 10, if somebody's frustrated about you, ain't saying nothing good.
Well, I don't
You ain't
know if
never
it gotta
said
be
nothing
like
good.
that. What you
I'm
mean?
saying if you as my spouse is coming to me about something, you're not giving me terms of endearment. You're not giving me like these high
Whenever somebody
affirmations.
comes to you,
I'm saying I'm talking about spouse.
yeah,
When
your
we in the high,
spouse.
we talking about high conflict
Oh,
situations.
okay.
So it's not. We already know this isn't a coochie cool conversation. My spouse has an issue with a thing I did or do or continue or perpetuate or continue to do. Like,
yeah,
I may not want to change that action, or I may
and
not
you may
think that.
still not, even after the conversation.
But I'm saying,
it's just a conversation that may need to be,
sure.
brought out into the light so that other person, because you can't expect people to read your mind, and you're secretly upset about something, but then you're not communicating that to your spouse, and then so I'm not saying that when you come to bring it to the table that it's going to just automatically gain resolve.
But what I'm saying is you were saying that, I'm always ready to have a conversation.
I am.
I think that you're open to having a conversation,
Yes.
but I don't think that it's always been a time where you was okay with having a conversation that wasn't in favor of you. Because I'm not.
Right. And
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying I'm open to the conversation. I didn't say I'm willing to accept whatever your thoughts and opinions.
Well, it's not so much. It's not about accept. It's about if we having a conversation. If someone is willing and they're a safe place to land, whether they like the content or not, that you want to hear it. But I don't think that. I think that the framework of let's communicate, however, has always been you. But I don't think that it's always been because I can attest to it myself. Now, I don't want to have a conversation with you when I know that this is a conversation that there are things that you don't like about something that happened in the day, the hour, or something that continues to happen that I'm doing or that I'm making you upset about, that I don't feel like I want to change or I need to change, but you're coming to me about it. I need the awareness, but that don't mean I like the awareness.
And it doesn't mean you're going to change.
It doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. Like when you're 90% of the time, when spouses on either side is coming to another spouse about an issue, it's not like this loving thing. In counseling, they trying to get you to that place where to speak on the level of here instead of like here.
And what do you mean for the people that's listening and not watching? Here and here, what are you doing?
When I'm here, I'm saying from a low place and not a high place. Like you're standing over someone, talking at them, but you're just talking to them about this issue. But the thing is, spouses have to be open for that type of dialogue. Like this is not, my wife is not coming at me for me to be defensive about their feelings. You don't ever have to agree with my feelings, but my feelings are valid.
Right.
And it doesn't change because you don't agree.
Absolutely.
Or if I don't agree, like vice versa. It doesn't change. And that's just one of the things that
then people can feel a way about something, but it doesn't, like, a person's feeling about something doesn't just automatically make it that is a fact or that's true. That can be the way, like I can feel a way about something. Like, I don't know what is a good example, but I could feel like, oh, I'm trying to think of something. I don't know, but I could feel a way about something and then I bring it to you, and be it not your intent or what have you, it doesn't make how I feel affect it's valid because I'm feeling that way, but it doesn't make it a fact that this person did this to make you feel this way or that way, because it can totally not be whatever it is that I'm feeling, and then I gain explanation and clarity and understanding about whatever situation that is, and then that can relieve the way I could relieve the way I'm feeling about a certain situation, and I may, with the the gaining of clarification, I can say, oh, okay, well, okay, I get it. Okay, then my whole thought process changed because I had that conversation. And had I not had that conversation, then I wouldn't have been able to gain the clarity.
I can agree with that. I can, because we've had moments where I had to go back and say, and see, this is the thing, like having negative thoughts about your negative thoughts, right? So your feelings are valid to you because in somewhere, sometimes you'll be thinking about a thing, and then you'll like exasperate the emotion or exasperate the thought. And if I talk to you and I say, man, I don't like this, and you did this, and you made me feel like this, but I actually took so much time to think about it that I blew up at you instead of instead of so now when you okay, let me go back. And now when you articulate what you got from what I said, now you've said sometimes like, man, that's not how I felt. That's not what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking. And X, Y, and Z is the reason why my action was this. My feelings were valid, but maybe the way I thought you were doing it, or vice versa, was
your perception.
My perception was off. But it ain't always like that.
No. But
something my feelings can be. My feelings are like your feelings are always valid. My feelings are always valid. But and there could be times when I was dead to right. Like I was dead to right with my feelings, and it's gonna take the humility of the spouse to say, I could have done that and I didn't see me doing that.
Yeah.
So for my listeners, any of my viewers, there's something that like I have to consciously do. It's so petty, right? Like my wife hates doors being open and closed. And today,
don't tell them that you what.
So well, let me tell them. So look.
I just today, closed the door on the way down.
So look, right. So look. What I did, we was on our way to do some grocery shopping today. I grabbed a Reese's out of the bin that I have in there.
And you left it?
And no. And when I grabbed it, and then when I like kind of brushed the door and I heard the click, but I didn't hear the whole click, I'm like, close the door. And then when I went and got my coat, I didn't hear it again. You know how you hear the door just kind of brush up, but it didn't do the click. I said, close it. And I consciously, right? This was today. I consciously did it. And I said, she doesn't like this. And because I recognized it, I actually did it. Now,
well, then maybe somebody must have went in the pantry after
well,
you.
I'm not saying I'm perfect.
When I got to the car, on my way to the car, the pantry was open, and I had to turn around and go back and close it because that's how much I hate the door open.
But see, this is the thing, though. The point I was making was the point I was making is that when the thought came, like she doesn't like this, I didn't use that for opportunity to say, well, okay, that's her problem. I said, this time I'm gonna do it because I'm not sure if in a moment you could have been like super upset and that was the one that ticked you off. I consciously recognized like she liked the doors closed, close this door. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get it right all the time, but the time that I did recognize it twice, I said, let me close it.
Well, that's good to know.
But what I'm saying is,
believe that you don't.
No. But I'm saying it's irritating. No, I don't care. That
is irritating. You don't care that it's irritating to me.
No, I care that it's
you
irritating.
Leave these doors cracked.
I do care that it bothers you. I don't care that they crack though.
Right, you don't care if they crack because clearly you leave them cracked. But
what I'm saying it's not. But what I'm saying
is that. Do you care that it's irritating my soul? Like sometimes I could be, there's a door right across from my office and I can be in conversation with a customer and he about to leave out to go somewhere, and he goes in the closet, get his coat, and then leaves it cracked. Then I literally put my customer on hold, or I walk with the phone over to there to close the door, like, because it just irritates my whole soul.
But this the thing. Like I said, I don't care.
I know you don't.
I don't no, but you're interpreting it wrong. That's now it's perception. Now, see, now you got your perception. I don't care that they open or they jarred or however, but I do care that you're irritated about it. But the problem, but the thing is, now my wife's perception have to change twofold, and one of them is that the way I've lived my life, is that I'm always the one who's first to leave. So what I never want to do,
to leave what?
I'm saying leave the home. Like that's my routine. Like I've been working these 3, 2, 4 in the morning shifts. I'm talking about most of my life. So when I'm in the house, I don't like shutting doors because I don't like nobody to disturb me while I'm asleep. So I never pushed up doors for them to click to.
This is interesting because you've never explained this to me.
That's what counseling
does. You live right now.
But see, that's what counseling does to where the spouse get to see, well, he's perpetuating something. There must have been a deeper meaning to it.
Well, I just felt like no one ever told you that.
No, that's not it. But that's the thing.
Because I mean, the same reason why I do it, I felt like maybe the reason you don't do it. Like I close doors because I was taught to close the doors and told. Well,
it's not something I wasn't taught. It's a door there with a knob on it.
I get your point. No. Some people don't care. I mean, some people, like, I was reading this in Good Housekeeping magazine. And it was a quiz, and it was saying, right now, are there drawers ajar in your bedroom? Are there cabinets open? Is it drawers like left open? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if we went in our bedroom right now, we can almost say like 99% our dresser drawers don't just be open and closed hanging out. But some people it is because they're in a rush. They just grab their clothes and boom, and don't take the time to close that drawer or what have you. So I'm very interested in this conversation because that makes a lot of sense.
But what I'm saying,
that you didn't want to wake people up, and that's what got you in the habit of that.
Sure, but that's what I'm saying. That's what the reason why I said, and that's why I'm gonna bring it home for our listeners and viewers to let them know that it's always a root to a thing, that the reason why your spouse could be doing something. Now, there are spouses that are really petty and they'll do something knowing that it's here. But I've been doing this, and it's been a problem in our entire marriage where I didn't close doors. But I know.
And how long we been married?
We've been married. It's about to be 8 years in March. But see, this is the thing. And whether you know it or not, and I'm letting them know with the listeners now, I have always been the night owl. I've always been the wee hours guy, and I don't want to disturb. My wife sleeps really light. I don't want to
halfway be asleep when you leave.
But now, but I'm saying before, I didn't want to wake anyone up to, with closing door. Because when I go, I want to get me my snack before I get. I'm going in the refrigerator. I'm going everywhere. I'm putting on all these boots. I'm putting all on this stuff. So I know I'm making enough noise with that. I don't want to close a bunch of doors and clicking, and I don't want to be doing all that. Turn on light. I get dressed in the dark because I don't want to disturb no one. So there's a root to something. So sometimes when a spouse is coming to you with something, there's a root for the reason why they're coming to you with that.
It's about to be 8 years, and I'm just finding out
because because maybe you didn't care to see he's doing this on a consistent basis of 8 years. It has to be more. No one could be petty for 8 years.
People can be petty.
Well, if somebody petty, listen, if somebody petty for 8 years, you need more than counseling. I think you need to be by yourself, because that is a thing that I haven't done, and I have to consciously do it. And even when she referring to her door when she's at work, because her door is right across. I don't want to disturb your.
Close it. I'm giving you the green light right now. Close all doors at any time, day or night.
See, this is another teaching moment for all spouses, though. if you have a pet peeve of something, I'm more than sure that your spouse have a pet peeve. So if you are very adamant about a thing, make sure that you are checking off the irritation list that your spouse could have too. What could you be doing for the last 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years?
Yes, and
that-
I do. I try to be cognizant of the things that I know may annoy you.
and
That I do.
and
if
and
I'm
you do-
aware of it,
Sure,
if you've
but
made me
see,
aware.
but see, you do it. You do it, and